am Nadine Carty-Keynes, and thank you for joining us at the Nevis Emergency Operations Center, EOC, today, Thursday, 14th May 2020, for an update on the situation regarding the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, here on Nevis. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of our viewers and media houses that have joined us virtually. All questions will be taken at the end after all the speakers would have presented. The Nevis COVID-19 briefings are aired on Mondays and Thursdays each week at 8 p.m. on Nevis Television. Or you can check the YouTube and Facebook pages of Nevis Television, Nevis HPU, and NDMD. Today we have with us Mr. Brian Dyer, who is the Director of the Nevis Emergency Operations Center, EOC, Mr. Lyndon David, Superintendent of Police, Nevis Division, Dr. Judy Nisbet, Chair of the Nevis COVID-19 Task Force, Nurse Simone Harris, President of the Nevis Nurses Association, and Ms. Zanella Claxton, Principal Education Officer, Department of Education. Welcome to all. I'll now like to give over to Mr. Brian Dyer, who will give his presentation.
Good evening, all. The Nevis Disaster Management Department continues its preparations towards the upcoming 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Well, in the week we had a meeting with the Nevis Disaster Committee, and also we met with the shelter managers with the Ministry of Health regarding the new protocols that should be established and enforced during the hurricane season in the event our shelters will be operated. This time I would like to make a special appeal to our community emergency response team personnel in our communities. I would like you to hold your meetings and make plans towards the activation during the hurricane season. It's important. The disaster management is relying on our assistance in our communities. So I appeal to you, these community emergency response teams, to meet and discuss your preparatory actions in the event you're called during the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. The government quarantine is being operational, and again I'd like to appeal to persons who wish to donate to persons at the quarantine center. The drop-off is at the EOC, and we make deliveries. The vehicle leaves the department at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily, so kindly arrange your drop-off to suit these times. A bit of statistics from our compliance task force. To date, they have completed 270 assessments, and the breakdown for these assessments: bakeries and delis 5, banks and financial institutions 10, buses and taxis, that includes ferries, 11. We have gas stations 6, government buildings and departments 44, laundromats 1, market vendors 4, mechanic shops 9, offices 31, pharmacies 2, restaurants 9, salons and barber shops 13, shops 18, snackets and bars 31, stores 50, street vendors 7, supermarkets 7, funeral homes 2, gyms 2, car wash 2, wholesale 2, radio station 1, manufacturing 2. Total 270. So I'd just like to encourage these entities that have been inspected to follow the recommendations. For the task force will be coming around a second and a third time. The third time will be enforcement of the recommendations made. Finally, I would like to say a special thank you to the Honorable Spencer Brand and Buddy's Restaurant for providing snacks to the students at the quarantine center on Wednesday. And I would also like to say a special thank you to the Golden Rock Hotel for providing lunches for the EOC staff today. very tasty, and we do encourage and thank you for your support. Finally, I would like to say a special thank you to the Jamaican Association, the Jam Kit Nev Association for donating a check in the amount of 1,000 EC dollars to assist the social services with regards to providing care packages and vouchers to members in our community. Special thank you to this association as they find it fit to give back to a community that has assisted them in their development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dyer, for your update. I'd now like to welcome Superintendent Lyndon David to provide the police update.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Good evening, all. And as usual, I will give you stats first. Thus far, we have conducted 621 patrols, 68 vehicle checkpoints. We have had 17 persons who are arrested for breach of curfew, 7 of which have been charged. We had 6 crimes that were committed, and we had 5 persons who were arrested and charged for these offenses. Number of vehicles stopped. We had 1,676, and I must then say, majority of these vehicles end up to be essential workers and persons who were granted permission to be on the road either by a written permission or they got that verbal permission for varying reasons of urgency. And finally, 10 persons were informed that there will be summons for breach of curfew. I take this opportunity to reinforce the point in Regulation 1612 regarding essential workers, seniors, and persons with disability. Whenever they go to a business place, they should be given priority. So I want to encourage our business establishment, ensure that your junior staff are familiar, and provide the necessary courtesies to these people who are there that will need them. We are seeing where a number of persons are still being about during the curfew time who were not given permission to do so. We are encouraging you to come on board and ensure that we do not have any new cases regarding COVID. In wrapping up, thus far our quarantine site has not been infiltrated by anyone who tried to go there without authorization, or persons who shouldn't have been there in the first place. And any of the persons who are there are leaving without getting permission to do so. So I want to thank all for their cooperation in that regard. So, with the compliance task force, you have heard the stats from the director, and I just want to thank those persons for continuing to cooperating with the task force and with the regulations that are there to ensure that we have strict compliance and persons will not cause any infection. So, in closing, I take this opportunity to thank God for His continued mercies on our federation, and right here in the island of Nevis, where we have no new cases, and making sure that things are going well with us and that we continue to focus on Him for His guidance and protection. For the governments, island and federal government alike, for the various support, staff of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force here in the division for their continued support, dedication, and call of duty, and they're going out there working to ensure that persons are complying. The medical staff for their work that they're doing. We have the disaster staff, essential workers for your hard work that you're giving. To you, the citizens who continue to support us, continue to inform us of various breaches, continue to stay at home and wearing your masks and also social distancing, and encourage persons to do likewise. And for the persons who are continue violating and any new violators, we are saying to you, don't look at it as a situation where you have to go against what is required, but look at it, that is your safety and your family. So we want to tell you to come on board and let us ensure that St. Kitts and Nevis get back on track speedily, to get our economy going well and everybody to move about as they are to move about. Thank you very much and do enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Superintendent David, for your update. I'd now like to take this opportunity for our viewers to look at this video on how to use a face mask.
Clean your hands with soap and running water or hand sanitizer before touching the mask. Remove a mask from the box and make sure there are no obvious holes or tears in either side of the mask. Determine which side of the mask is the top. The side of the mask that has a stiff, bendable edge is the top and is meant to be molded to the shape of your nose. Determine which side of the mask is the front. The colored side of the mask is usually the front and should face away from you, while the white side touches your face. If you're wearing a mask with ear loops, hold the mask by the ear loops and place a loop around each ear. Mold or pinch the stiff edge to the shape of your nose. Pull the bottom of the mask over your mouth and chin. If you're wearing a mask with ties, bring the mask to your nose level and place the ties over the crown of your head and secure with a bow. Then take the bottom ties, one in each hand, and secure with a bow at the nape of your neck. Pull the bottom of the mask over your mouth and chin. How to remove a face mask. Clean your hands with soap and running water or hand sanitizer before removal of the mask. Avoid touching the front of the mask. The front of the mask is contaminated. Only touch the ear loops, ties, or band. If you're wearing a mask with ear loops, hold both of the ear loops and gently lift and remove the mask. Throw the mask in a covered trash bin. Clean your hands with soap and running water or hand sanitizer. If you're wearing a mask with ties, untie the bottom bow first, then untie the top bow and pull the mask away from you as the ties are loosened. Throw the mask in a covered trash can. Clean your hands with soap and running water or hand sanitizer.
I'd now like to welcome Dr. Judy Nesbitt, Chair of the Nevis COVID-19 Task Force, who will provide the Nevis situation report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening to everyone. As of today, May 14th, 124 persons have been tested. 97 persons have tested negative, while 4 persons tested positive. There are 23 test results pending. 25 persons are in quarantine, while 217 persons have been released from quarantine. There are 4 recovered patients and no persons in isolation. The students who are in quarantine remain well and are now at day 14 of quarantine. I want to sincerely thank you, the public, for playing your part in curbing the spread of COVID-19 here on Nevis, and to encourage you to continue to adhere to all the public health measures as we do all we can to keep COVID-19 contained on St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Judy Nesbitt. Mr. Roger Hanley of the Nevis Water Department shared this video on how to wash your hands while conserving water. This video is through the courtesy of the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, PAHO, WHO.
Wash your hands with soap and water. Having clean hands reduces the spread of diseases like COVID-19. Let's show you how to do it. After wetting your hands, close the tap. Add soap and lather your palms. The back of your hands, between your fingers. Back of fingertips in your palm. Your thumbs. The tips of your fingers in your palm. And don't forget your wrists. Use a tissue to open the tap, as this was last touched by your unwashed hands. Rinse your hands thoroughly. Finally, use tissues to dry both hands and discard in the bin. During this 50 seconds of hand washing, we had the tap running for only 7.5 seconds, saving 85% of water otherwise wasted. Water is a precious resource, and in some countries, it is scarce. So as you wash your hands, don't waste water. We are PAHO, and we care.
I'd now like to welcome Nurse Simone Harris, President of the Nevis Nurses Association.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening to all. Nurses Week 2020. A voice to lead nursing the world to health. 2020, Year of the Nurse and Midwife. Why do we celebrate 1 week of activities? Nurses have played a major role in the care and healing of humanity. And we celebrate 1 week for those that have paved the way for nursing, paying special attention to the 12th of May, which is the birthday of our founder, Florence Nightingale. Let me recap our activities for the week. Monday, the 11th of May, was the opening of Nurses Week 2020 by the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. Tuesday, 12th of May, International Nurses Day, T-shirt Day, and surprises. Wednesday, 13th May, Guess the Nurse. Here is where you had to visit the Health Promotion Facebook page, and you tag someone or you make a comment about nurses, about the nurse that you have seen in the picture from a long time ago, and that was a hit. Thursday, May 14th today. We say thank you to our nurses. We call it Thank You Thursday, where we leave special notes for our colleagues around our units. Tomorrow, Friday, May 15th, it's party time. Join our virtual party from 7 to 9. You can visit the Blackstone Song Nevis Facebook live feed, and we're gonna all have a fabulous time there. On Saturday, May 16th, we have Nurses Jingle and Poetry Day. Yes, we can do that. And we also have a treasure hunt where stuff would be hidden and the nurses would have to find them using clues given. On Sunday, May 17th, that would be the closing of Nurses Week, where we would flood the social media with our pics for the entire week and hearty greetings for nurses and persons out there who have a special nurse. They can comment and they can say something nice about their nurse. And every day we have our devotion being done on the intercom at the hospital. So we are encouraging social distancing. For one of our activities, we had the Nurse of the Year, where we recognized a nurse. And that nurse was Nurse Viviana Andre Powell. Nurse Powell was recognized for her hard work, sacrifice, and dedication to her job. And she said it no better than this. She said she's determined to administer professional nursing care regardless of race, gender, or creed. Thank you, Nurse Andre, for a job well done. And as we speak, we have to promote nursing. Nursing is a noble profession. Nursing has been here for 200 years. And this year we are nursing the world to health. So we need more nurses. So our nursing education is done at the Clarence Fitzroy Byron College or otherwise of your choice. To get into the nursing program, you have to have 5 subjects CXC and 3 CAPE. The 3 CAPE now, it's because it's a bachelor's degree. And this is run by the University of the West Indies. And those subjects, you must have a science subject included. It can be any of the science subjects. And after nursing comes what? After nursing, there are so many areas that you can specialize in. You have a choice. You can do anesthesia. You can be an intensive care nurse. You can be an emergency nurse. You can be a midwife. You can go on to higher grounds whereby you can do your master's degree in nursing. And just remember, your career is not only for here. Your career can take you further afield. Anywhere in the world you can go and you can have a job. So thank you and have a blessed Nurses Week. And please join us and continue to support us.
It's party time! Nurses Week of activities. Join our virtual party hosted by Blackstone Sounds in Nevis. Virtual party will be aired on Blackstone Sounds Nevis Facebook page from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, the 15th of May, 2020. It's gonna be epic.
Put your head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Put your head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees.
Thank you, Nurse Simon Harris, for the information provided on behalf of the Nevis Nurses Association. And I'd like to welcome our final speaker, Ms. Zanella Claxton, Principal Education Officer, Department of Education.
Thank you very much. I would like to start off by saying a heartfelt thank you to the staff at the Ministry of Education on both St. Kitts and Nevis, at the Department of Education here on Nevis, to our principals, instructional staff, and other stakeholders. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication throughout the duration of this process. To date, the vast majority of our instructional and administrative staff have been trained in Microsoft Teams, with the exception of a few who encountered issues with electrical service outages and technical issues. Teachers are currently creating and populating content for delivery. Students are also being onboarded so that they can access Microsoft Teams. We have reached out to all persons who indicated that they were in need of internet, and installation for those individuals began on Monday. If there are any individuals who have not been contacted but are in need of internet service for instructional purposes so that your children can access their online classes, please contact your school's principal. And in the event that you have difficulties doing so, please contact us at the Department of Education during the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. between Monday and Friday at 469-4651. You may also email us at education@niagov.com. Due to the fact that Microsoft Teams is only one component of this process, we have also embarked on a process of training teachers in content delivery. All teachers between the grades kindergarten and 3 have been trained in content delivery in the area of reading. This training process was led by the Early Learners Program team at the Department of Education. We want to remind parents and guardians that every step is being taken to ensure that the product delivered is one of a high standard. This is not simply a COVID-19 response. However, it is a response that we hope to be sustainable for many years to come. The work that is being done will allow us to properly integrate technology for many years. We learned in the Bible of the wise man who built his house on the rock, and of the foolish man who built his house on the sand. We at the Department of Education have taken the decision to follow the model created by the wise man. Remember, any structure, even a virtual structure, that does not have a strong foundation will collapse. We are building a structure with a solid foundation. We thank you once again for your patience, for your continued support. And if you are in need of further information, please don't hesitate to contact your principals or to contact us at the department. Remember to continue to exercise all protocols which we have learned of over the last few months in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we wish you every success in every endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Claxton, for your updates. Well, we've come to the end of all of our presentations, and so I'd now like to open up to the media houses if they have any questions for us this evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just one question to Ms. Claxton. Understanding that the teachers, or most of them would have completed their training, has there been any date set yet for the virtual classrooms, or any idea of a date as yet?
Thank you very much for that question. We do not have the exact date as yet, and chances are it might be on a rolling basis. However, I want to assure you that we want to ensure that the teachers are prepared not only in using the platform, but that they have solid content to be able to deliver. And so that's the second round. We're ensuring that they feel comfortable in their new classroom spaces. We've actually given all teachers, principals, and everyone else new schools. And those schools are virtual schools. And we don't want for the teachers to have to encounter challenges in those schools prior to interacting with the students. Nor do we want for when the students access the platform or their new schools that their teachers are not comfortable in interacting and presenting to them. So with that in mind, we are observing, we are assessing the situation, and we're providing a lot of support from the department. We are providing a lot of support at the school level. The principals have embedded several training and practice opportunities for their teachers to ensure that the students get the best quality education possible. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Monique, and thank you, Ms. Claxton. Shamika Budgeon of Vaughan Radio. This question is for Superintendent Lyndon David. Recently, there have been a number of frequent road accidents on Nevis, especially in and around the curfew time. Are there any prevention methods in place for drivers, and are you seeing an upsurge in accidents?
Thank you very much for that question. what I can say to you that firstly, all these matters are being investigated. And once these persons had no reason to be on the road, they will be prosecuted, both for the traffic accident, if they're at fault, and for breach of curfew. Now, regarding traffic accident, most of the time when one look at it, it's just drivers are not paying attention to the road. Persons want to go their way and they're not looking at the other vehicle or the other person on the road. So therefore, what we are saying to persons, drive carefully, drive safely, and avoid unnecessary accidents. Take your time. You need to know the rules of the road. You've been through the process of learning, and that was said to you. Going around a roundabout, you need to give way to the traffic. Stop and let the vehicle pass as opposed to try to force your way through. You reach to a stop, stop and let that person pass. A vehicle is parked on your side of the road, stop and let that vehicle pass and not try to squeeze through. You have the right of way. A person is passing a vehicle because they are way ahead of you, but you speed up to prevent that person from passing. These are some of the things that are there. So we are saying to persons, follow the rules of the road and all these accidents will be avoided. And now we also have the animals on the road. You should know the areas where the animals are. And then, if you do not know, be mindful. So drive within the speed limit to avoid all these unnecessary traffic accidents. With reference to the upsurge in the numbers, yes, we have seen a slight upsurge. But like I said, with all these things that persons should take into consideration, it will continue to go up. But if you follow the rules of the road, they will come down. So, at one point, you will see it spike, and another time it will go down. So, what the police saying now, just comply or follow the rules governing the use of the road, and we will see these numbers go down. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamika Bajan, and thank you, Superintendent David. Another question from Shamika Bajan of On Radio for Superintendent David. In Section 19 of the SR&O number 16 regulations, a person who is charged for breaching the curfew is liable to a fine not exceeding $5,000. In light of this section, what is the time frame in which a person should pay, as there is no time frame specified in Section 19?
Thank you for that question. The magistrate will then determine how this fine will be paid. It can be paid forthwith. The magistrate can tell you within a certain period of time. But at the end of the day, that basically will be a matter for the magistrate to deal with. So I hope that I satisfy your question in answering it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent David. And thank you, Von Radio. Any further questions? Okay, so I want to thank all our presenters and thank the media houses for joining us for another briefing, and to remind persons in the general public to follow the instructions given under the state of the emergency, and to protect yourself and others by washing your hands with soap and water, cover your cough and sneeze with a tissue or flex elbow, and dispose of your tissue in a closed bin and wash hands immediately. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unclean hands. Disinfect touch surfaces and areas often. Eat lots of vegetables and fruits. Drink plenty of water and exercise as often as possible. Continue to practice physical distancing and stay at home if you do not need to move about. The hotline numbers that you can contact: COVID hotline number 311 or 661-5051. Reminder to sign up for the Nevis Health app at kn.unhin.org. Additional thank yous to the Nevis Disaster Management, Nevis Television, Caribbean Digital Displays Limited, Cornerstone, and Task Force members for making these briefings possible. I am Nadine Carty-Keynes, and please join us again on Monday, 18th May at 8 p.m. for another Nevis COVID-19 EOC briefing here on Nevis Television. Thank you for viewing, and please stay safe.